Hello everybody and welcome to another video. I don't know how to intro this because it's just an idea that I wanted to do, and so I'm doing it. It's not talk about, so I don't know what to call it really. But there is the most acclaimed games of all time, the website called acclaimedgames.com, which aggregates every review from every review site there is out there to determine like the most official sort of way to rank the best games of all time. And so what I wanted to do today is go see what the top 100 games of all time are officially based on dozens of reviews across every website. If we go to the about page on acclaimedgames.com, how has this list been calculated? The main list is an aggregate of more than 700 critic lists from more than 100 publications. These lists are weighted by a complex algorithm that accounts for factors such as the reputation of the publication, how current the list is, and a weighting that punishes publications for repeating themselves across multiple lists, preventing the most prolific publications from dominating the rankings. A program then tracks how often each game appears ahead of every other game in the database. These game versus game matchups are then rigorously cross-referenced and to determine an overall ranking. The highest ranked games are the ones that have frequently appeared ahead of other strong games, while rarely being ranked below weaker games. So all of this to say, this is the most official you can get in terms of ranking video games. Personally, I've always considered myself to be a gaming aficionado, a very prolific gamer and all of that sort of things. So what I wanted to do is to really decide, to really determine if that is true, to look at the top 100 games, the best 100 games of all time definitively, to look at those games, and if there are any games that I have not played to completion, I will do it, because I mean, I consider myself, like I said, a very prolific gamer. And if I haven't played the top 100 games to completion, I don't think I can actually call myself a very hardcore gamer, and so to speak. So that's what this video is, where I just want to go through the top 100 and play all of them. And if I haven't played them, I will. I will allow myself 3 skips, because let's be real, there's probably going to be a couple of games I don't want to play to completion, and hopefully 3 skips will hopefully be all I need, and that's all I'm going to allow myself. So now's the time to finally see what the top 100 games of all time are definitively, and it's something I've been looking forward to doing for a while, this video. So let's go ahead and jump right into it, shall we? So in doing it this way, we go all the way down to the 100th spot, and we do get to see all the way up to 94, spoilers ahead. And so now let's get into it. And spoilers for all the way to 94, I guess 93 if you can tell what that is. But now let's start doing this list and determine what games I haven't played and which ones I have to play to completion. Okay, so starting off with number 100, we have Persona 5. And this is saying just Persona 5. I have not completed Persona 5 Royal. I'm like halfway through it, I think. So Persona 5, that's definitely a game I want to finish. And if Persona 5 Royal shows up later, we're going to just count that as one, because let's be real with ourselves. Royal is just the better version of Persona 5. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then Persona 4, same thing goes. Same thing applies with Persona 4, a game that I loved. Well, Persona 4 Golden I loved very much, and I recently talked about it on Talk About. I have finished Persona 4 Golden, so that done did that. Uncharted 4: A Thief's End. Surprisingly, I have not played this game, and yeah, I'll do it. It's no problem at all. 98, that's awesome. Good for them. Uncharted 4 is the only Uncharted game, well, and Lost Legacy for that matter, that I haven't played because I ain't own a PS4. So I never got around to this. And then, you know, with the PS5 coming out, there are a lot of other games I had to play on the PS5, and I never got around to that. Same thing with Bloodborne. That's the reason why I haven't played Bloodborne. Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of M. That's going to be a tough game to play in 2025, 25 years later. But I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 was pretty good. Not my favorite game, but a lot of people's favorite game. But based on, I mean, this is also BioWare, old school BioWare. So I have to imagine that's pretty good. Rocket League, I played a bunch of. You can't finish that game, I don't think. So I guess I'm free. I'm free in that regard. Sid Meier's Civilization 6, no, 4. Civilization 4, Roman numerals. I don't know if you can complete this game. If you can, let me know, and I might skip it. We'll see what's on the rest of this list, but that might be my first skip, which is concerning because we're only on number 5. Because I don't, if this game has like a campaign, that's what I would have to play. But if there's no campaign, then I don't have to finish it because you can't finish a game that has no end, you know? And then Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I mean, I've cleared like character things before. Does that count? In which case, did it. But The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask, I never owned. I had Ocarina of Time growing up, but, you know, growing up, I couldn't afford my own games, and I kind of just played what was in the house at the time. Majora's Mask was not one of those games that was just in the house. So, Majora's Mask, I gotta play it. I've never even played it. So, yeah, that's awesome. Good for Majora's Mask. Return of the Obra Dinn. I have heard of this. I have no idea what it is. But hey, top 100 games of all time. And so I'll play it. I'll play it. I have no issue with that one. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. That seems an easy play. You know, I've started it before, but I've never, you know, finished it. And knowing how quickly you can finish Super Mario Brothers, I feel like I'd be fine playing that one. That seems fun, you know, for an hour or two. Fortnite, wow. Yeah, that's going to be controversial. Go ahead and go into the comment section below and tell me how mad you are that Fortnite's in the top 100. You know, really drive up the engagement on this video. I'd appreciate that. But you can't roll credits on Fortnite, so that's a pass. The Secret of Monkey Island. Okay. All right. I don't see a problem playing that. I'm sure that'll be a good time. I think there's remasters. Also, I guess I should also point that out. If there are remasters of these games, I probably would play those instead because, I mean, that's a 35-year-old game. I don't really want to do that. If there's a remaster, which I believe there is, I will do that instead because, you know, old game is old, and if I can make it slightly less old, I'll do that. Moving on, though, we have... crap. Crap. I was worried about that. If you've been following along, you'll know I'm a known Astrobot hater. I can't believe it's in the top 100 already. That... yeah, if you've been following along, yeah, I'm a known Astrobot hater just because it came out and everyone was acting like it was the best thing ever. And I'm like, you just jump around and collect things. I've played games like that before with characters I liked, not just this robot. But hey, top 100. Unless I skip it. What if I did? I might. No, I probably won't. Astrobot, yeah, add that to the list, I guess. All right. Continuing on, we have Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Already checked that one done. I've already finished that game before. Great time. It wasn't until Starfield, actually. When Starfield came out, I played like every Bethesda Game Studios game leading into Starfield, and that's when I actually completed Oblivion for the first time. Any other time I played it, it was just me spending a long time in there and just doing a lot of things, but never getting to the end of the actual campaign. But I've already completed it, so won't have to play it again. Unless I want to with a remake. Grim Fandango. All right, another one of those LucasArts point and click adventures. I've heard good things. I mean, it's top 100. Must be there for a reason. Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Wow, that's very fascinating. And yeah, that's definitely not a game. It's a game I've played a lot of, but I've never finished. So I'll get around to it. I don't really have a deadline because I mean, come on, a deadline. You can't put a deadline on playing 100 games, can you? But I definitely want to play every single one of these. Braid. I've never played Braid. At least I don't think I have. I might have played a demo back on the Xbox arcade days, but I have never actually played it through, and it's 84. Good for Braid. I'm surprised at some of these games on here, honestly. Like, out of like thousands upon thousands of games, these are the ones that made the top 100. Somehow Astrobot was one of them. You know, what are we doing? Anyways, continuing forward, we have The Legend of Zelda Original. Oh, that's fascinating. And a game that I am going to struggle with because I've played the original Legend of Zelda, but I mean, I don't know if you've opened it recently. It is just open. It is just so open. Like Breath of the Wild is so open, and it takes a lot of cues from this. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting play. I love Zelda, though. I've played a lot of Zeldas. A lot of 3D Zeldas, I should say, because I have a feeling we're going to scroll up further in this list and I'll be like, ooh, I never played that Zelda. I didn't play that Zelda. I mean, I already kind of look like a fool because I said I played most of the 3D ones and I didn't play Majora's Mask, but you know, that was Nintendo 64 days. I had a GameCube. I played Ocarina of Time on GameCube, so. Moving on to 82, we have Morrowind. That's going to be a tough one because, full disclosure, in that same Bethesda Game Studios, every Bethesda Game Studios game leading into Starfield, when it came to Morrowind, I played a good chunk of it, but it's kind of aimless. But I know a lot of people like it for that, I'm sure, the openness and the you have to figure it out yourself. But I was kind of on a time crunch. I didn't really plan it out very well, my whole play every Bethesda Game Studios game into Starfield. So I was like, ooh, I got to move on. So I just moved on to Oblivion. But hey, now I have good reason to go back to it and finish. Or probably restart it and then finish. 81, Undertale. That's an interesting one. Okay, interesting. I've heard good things. Only heard good things. I mean, I could say that about every game on this list probably. But Undertale especially, it's more of a recent one. Yeah, 2015. I guess 10 years ago at this point. That's crazy. But still, it's one of those indie darlings that people hold on a pedestal, and never played it. Very simple. One, I believe just Toby Fox, one guy made it. So an impressive game. Oh, Super Mario Galaxy 2. That's a tough one. That's a tough one for the sole reason, or the sole issue of how do I play that in 2025? Because when Nintendo released Mario 3D All-Stars, Super Mario Galaxy 2 wasn't in that bundle. I'm not really hip with the, you know, alternative methods. Would I have to buy a Wii U to play that game? I don't know. I don't know. But we're going to have to like bookmark that one. Because, yeah, I genuinely don't know how I would play that in 2025. By the time of this recording, the Switch 2 is going to be revealed in 2 days, like the full thing, the full direct. What if it's there? Wouldn't that be crazy? That would be very helpful for me. So maybe that'd be nice. Because, yeah, I have no reason not to play it. I enjoyed Super Mario Galaxy back in the day, but I really had to pick and choose the games I played. I couldn't afford everything, so I got Mario Galaxy 1, but I never got around to 2 because, you know, you gotta see what else is out there when you're a little kid trying to play as many games as possible, you know? But 79, Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Yeah, I never played that one. My Grand Theft Auto knowledge is pretty limited when all is said and all is done. I think I've only to completion played 4 and 5, which I feel like is heresy. So I'm sure we're going to see more Grand Theft Auto as we go up this list that I'll have to circle back to get a full birth of my gaming knowledge, you know, to really round out my gaming knowledge. 78. Oh, Super Smash Brothers Melee. I definitely, back in the day, did also a bunch of those characters run throughs with, what is it called? I don't even remember what it's called, but where you get to the end and you fight the hand. Good times. So that's done. Arkham Asylum, come on. We've been there. Great game. If you haven't, you should. It's in the top 100, and it's in the top 100 for a reason. And I have a feeling this won't be the last time we see Batman, because this isn't even the best game in that franchise. But moving on, we got SimCity 2000. Now, I don't believe you can roll credits on that game. There's no campaign as far as I'm concerned, so get that out of here. Sorry if that sounded really awful on the mic. There we go. Batman Arkham City. Yeah, also fantastic video game. I didn't even mention with Arkham Asylum, I did get all of the achievements, you know, not to brag. You know, I got all the achievements in that one. I didn't do it with Arkham City, but I did finish Arkham City. Good times. Great times even. Moving on though, Resident Evil. Wow. Now I gotta show my whole ass right now. I never played Resident Evil 1. I played like damn near every single other Resident Evil game except for Resident Evil 1. Except like the only Resident Evil games I haven't played are 0, 1. Yeah, 0, 0, 1, and the Revelations series. In terms of like the actual horror games and mainline, not like Umbrella Corps or whatever the hell you want to call the spin-offs, I guess. But yeah, definitely that's one I gotta play. The thing with Resident Evil 1 is that it's just like, when are they gonna remake that with the RE engine in the same style as RE 2, 3, and 4? But it doesn't seem like they are, because that remake that they made for the GameCube holds up exceptionally well today. But once you've played Resident Evil 2, 3, and then you go back to 1 with the tank controls and the fixed camera angles, it is harder to play. So that's why when I was playing through every Resident Evil game, I couldn't quite stick with that one in particular. But hey, number 74 on the top 100 games of all time, the definitive top 100 games of all time. So definitely a game I will have to play. It's a game I want to play as well. As well as just being a game that I have to play, it's a game I want to play. No offense to some of these other games, but like Astrobot, I just have to play that as opposed to wanting. But next up we have Nier Automata. That's going to be a fun one because I haven't played that, but once again, I've heard nothing but good things. And with that one also, I'd have to beat it like 26 times. Is that the deal with that one? Let me know in the comments below. Something like that. Something with the letters of the alphabet, if I recall correctly. But yeah, I have no problem with that. That's another one that I want to play and have to play. Moving on, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Yep, that's what I was talking about earlier. Never played it. Period. Just never played it. Never even touched it once. But on the list. Gotta do it. System Shock 2. That's interesting, because that's BioShock, like the predecessor to BioShock. If I'm speaking correctly, if I recall correctly. I mean, it's Irrational Games, same developer. I don't know if it's Ken Levine, but yeah. So that's one that I should enjoy. Right? If that's the case, Spelunky, I played a bunch of it back in the day. And when I say back in the back in the day, 2012 is back in the day, really, huh? Oof. Time, you know. But Spelunky, I played a bunch of it. I don't know if you can roll credits, but if you can, I have no problem going back to that one. I'm sure it'll be a good time. Next up, Inside at number 69. Nice. I gotta tell you, probably the worst game to be at number 69, but hey, it's probably good, right? I've heard, again, nothing but good things, believe it or not. All of these games I've heard good things about. But this one is another one of those indie darlings that you especially hear good things about. Coming from the developers of Limbo. Yeah, Playdead. And I mean, I have no real qualms with that one. I'm sure it'll be an interesting ride. The only issue I have with it, and people are gonna really come after me, is that it's a 2D game. I don't really like 2D games, and I'm sure we're gonna see a lot more of them as we go further up the list. But for me personally, I've never been the biggest fan of the 2D games, of being flat, you know, like give me the third dimension. Let me go through the X, Y, and Z axis, not just left and right, you know, and up and down. Let me go everywhere. But hey, I've heard great things. And man, we're going to see a lot of Metroidvanias soon. And I'll tell you what, those games are not my favorite. Hot take. Walking Dead, been there. Counter-Strike, I don't think there's a campaign of that. See ya. Okami. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good call. That's a good call, this list, to tell me to play that game, because they have a sequel coming out one of these days, recently announced. And I never played it. And I hear it is a Zelda game. Pretty much. So, yeah. I'll play it. I like Zelda a lot. And if this is going to be a lot like Zelda, except I am a dog or a wolf, sick. Sounds like a great time. Ow, The Outer Wilds. That's a game that's going to be a lot. Knowing what I know about that game, that's going to be a lot. That's going to... Like, I got to get smart to play that game. Okay, well, I mean, it's on the list. Gotta do it. If it's on the list, you gotta do it. So I'll do it. Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. I feel like I've played... No, I was about to say Ruby. Ruby wasn't this one's remake. Okay, I mean, oof. Ah, okay. There's a remake of this one, though. I don't know what it's called, but I'm not playing the first Pokemon game. Let's be real. I mean, have you seen those pixels? Come on. But yeah, I have no problem playing Pokemon. Ooh, would it count if I just played Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee? Would that count? Let me know what you think. Or is there an actual remake I should play? Because I don't, come on, you know what I mean? But yeah, Pokemon's fun. I don't think I've ever finished any Pokemon game to completion. So it would be very, very good for me to do that at some point. Wind Waker. Love that game. Love it so much. But I gotta confess, I didn't beat it. Because I was a dumb kid. You know, I was a dumb kid. I remember exactly why I didn't beat it, though. I was a dumb kid. And it was the thing where it's like, all right, go on the open seas and find these Triforce pieces, if I remember correctly. It was just like no direction. They're just out here. I'm sure there's some direction, but I was a dumb kid who didn't understand what these directions meant. But it was just like, all right, go figure it out. And then I was like, don't know. Sorry. But hey, it's on this list. And hey, Nintendo, whenever you're ready to release the HD remaster of this for the Switch or the Switch 2 at this point, I will play this to completion. I'm waiting on Nintendo at this point because I want to play this again and actually finish it this time. But Nintendo is just holding me back. You know, unleash me already. Let me play through Wind Waker on the Switch 2. Oh, wow. Baldur's Gate 3 is this low? I genuinely would have thought Baldur's Gate 3 would be way higher on this list. I mean, I've already finished that game before, and thank God I did, because I don't want to ever play it again. Yeah, hot take. Baldur's Gate 3 is only good once. God, I should cut that out, but I'm going to leave it in, because it's my truth. I got to speak my truth. But yeah, I just think Baldur's Gate 3 is incredibly overrated is all. People acted like it was the biggest thing ever. I'm like, I've played games like this before. It's not that crazy. But people really, really liked it, and they acted like it was the best thing ever. It's fine. Anyways, next up, Overwatch no campaign, because they lied to us and they said, we're not going to give you a campaign. Even though we said Overwatch 2 was going to have campaign, we decided not to. So moving on. Tomb Raider, the first one, never played it. That's a good call. You see, this is exactly what I'm talking about when I'm like, this top 100 games, the definitive top 100 games of all time, is such a good thing for me to look through and like actually be like, okay, I'm gonna have to play every game on here. And it works so well because it has these classics that I've never played. But like I said at the top, in order to be like have this full knowledge of the video game history and video games and all of that, it's just like I should play all of these games, and this is giving me the push to do it with a game like Tomb Raider that I've never played, but we all know how storied the Tomb Raider franchise is, but I've never, stopped to think about where it came from. You know what I mean? Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That honestly also shocked that it's this low. But honestly, again, to be honest, once again, I'm shocked that it is above Baldur's Gate 3 because I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 kind of ran away with 2023. But hey, this is the official list. The official, most official you can be when it comes to ranking video games. So hey, Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, better game than Baldur's Gate 3. Officially. But yeah, of course, I finished that game to completion. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, what an ending. Beautiful game. Grand Theft Auto 4, been there, done that. Disco Elysium, that's a good call. It's a game that forever I've been like, oh, this is a great game. I've heard such great things about it. Again, believe it or not, I've heard great things. Yeah, all right. Put that one in my back pocket. I gotta play it. Next up, Eco. I've played Eco Remastered, but not to completion, so now will be the time. Now will be. Was that a PS4 remaster, or is that a PS3 remaster? Because that could get sucky because of PlayStation 3 not being native on PS5. But there's still a possibility. There's still a way. Actually, that says PS2. So even if it's a PS3 remaster, the PS2 version, I think, would still be downloadable if it is on PS5. Which I have to imagine it would be. It's a pretty big deal of a game, so probably, right? 55, Grand Theft Auto 3. That's the other Grand Theft Auto game that I have never finished. I played a bunch of it back in the day. Never finished it. Really changed the game for open world games. Yeah, that is what I said, and I meant it. Because that's the one that like really became a sandbox. And then every other game was like, oh snap, we could be doing this. And we probably should because everyone loves it. So that really changed open world gaming. And I've only played a bunch of it, but I've never finished it. So I gotta go back, roll credits, learn about Claude, I think his name was. Cloud's Strife. Duh. Super Mario Galaxy. I did finish that one back in the day because that's the one I had. Sorry, Super Mario Galaxy 2 didn't own you. But Galaxy I did own, and I did finish. Great time. A long time ago. Like, I couldn't tell you what happened, but I did finish that game. I remember being very proud of myself on finishing that game. Okay. Here, this is interesting. This is interesting, right? Because I've never played The Last of Us Part 2 because it once again falls into the category of a PS4 game that I didn't own a PS4. I love The Last of Us Part 1. Love that game to death. It's such a great game. The issue I have with The Last of Us Part 2, though, is that when I finished The Last of Us Part 1, I was like, that's it. Great ending. I love that. You just have that ending is up to you to determine what happens next in your own mind. That little just Ellie's okay, you know the one at the end of The Last of Us Part 1. That's a perfect ending in my opinion. So from the conception of The Last of Us Part 2, I was like, do we really need this? And then I also didn't have PS4, so I was like, it doesn't really matter to me. I won't play it because I can't play it, and I don't really want more to that story. But they did more to that story. They did add more to that story, and because I didn't have a PS4, I did see the spoilers. So I was just like, let me just see what's going on. And of course, even if that weren't the case, this game is so highly talked about to the point where you can't really dodge spoilers for it. But knowing the spoilers and knowing like the trajectory and what the game was trying to accomplish, it's always just in my head. Even now that I have a PS5, I own the game. I bought the game just because I was like, oh, maybe I will play it because I have a PS5 now. But knowing like the journey that it has the players go on, I'm just like, that just sounds so depressing for so long. It's just like, do I want to play a game that depresses me for 30 hours straight? I don't know if I do. And I still don't know if I do, you know, like it's on this list, but I haven't used any of my skips because I'm going to like go through it all and then determine what my 3 skips are, besides you know, games that don't have a campaign. But it would be so childish of me to use my skip on The Last of Us Part 2. So I very likely won't, but I'm considering it. Just because the story of The Last of Us Part 1 is perfect in my eyes. And then it keeps going, and it maybe isn't very happy. Maybe it isn't a very happy story like ever. But yeah, because that's the thing. That's the thing of it. Again, this is just based off of what I've heard. I've never played it, but it just sounds so depressing. Like there's not a little glimpse of hope or goodness in that game. Just depression and horror. And it's just like, I don't know if I want to subject myself to that. But hey, we'll circle back around when we determine what the skips are. But let's go to number 52. Fallout 3. Come on. It's Fallout 3. Of course I've played that. Super Mario Bros. I have done that. I mean, I said it earlier at Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. You can really speedrun through that game. That's the first time in a game where I learned about speedrunning, because I remember my stepmom at the time had this she had an NES, just an NES in the year of like 2013 or something like that. And it was like, that's crazy. It's so ancient of a machine. And it's, you know, that's crazy. And that's when I learned you could just go through these pipes and get to the end relatively soon. And I was like, I'm crazy with it. Little did I know everyone knew those pipes, and it wasn't that special that I was able to do that. So, you know, but I have done it. Ooh, Silent Hill 2. That's a good one because the remake just came out recently, and I almost played the remake, but I was like, why would I subject myself to that? Now I have a reason to subject myself to that. All right. And also it's like PS5 Pro enhanced, and I was very much looking around for like games to play on my PS5 Pro, and that is one of them. Why not? Super Mario Odyssey. Okay. Time for a confession. Never finished it. Honestly, I've only played like 4 hours of it. And now is a perfect time to play through it before the Switch 2 is announced. By the time this video is out, it will have been announced, and maybe we've seen a glimpse of the next 3D Mario. In which case, it's like, oh, I should definitely play Super Mario Odyssey before I play that one, so I can, you know, see the trajectory of Mario. So that's probably one of these lists of the games on this list. That's probably one of the most, like, in terms of me getting to it, that's probably up there. I'm probably going to get to that one relatively soon compared to the other games on this list. And once again, talking about Silent Hill 2, when I play that, it would be the remake, because that was a really highly acclaimed remake. People really loved it. And also the developer is Team Silent. How sick is that? Number 48, though, Knights of the Old Republic, been there, done that, great time. It was not too long ago, actually. It was like 4 years ago, I think, at this point, maybe 5 years ago. But it was relatively recently when I played through Knights of the Old Republic for the first time. Great game. Really great game. Where's the remake? You know, give me an excuse to play it again. Also, it is just really, really, really old. So I would love that remake to be real. But, you know, that was announced like literally 5 years ago, and we've seen nothing since then. If anything, we've seen less than nothing. The opposite of something, which is nothing. Anyways, number 47, Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 6. Okay. So here's where I want to go ahead and just like, man, I look tiny in frame. I never did that well getting in frame correctly. But this is where I want to take a moment to also mention another idea I've been stewing on. What if I played every single Final Fantasy game? Every single, like, mainline Final Fantasy game. Not like Tactics and Crystal Chronicles and all that, but every mainline Final Fantasy game. Because I've really, in recent years, come to realize I really like Final Fantasy. Like, I played 15, very much enjoyed that. I've played 16. I've played 7 Remake. I've played 7 Rebirth, and I've played a lot of original 7, and I've loved all of those. So it's just like, what if I just played all of them, you know? Maybe just get it all in me, because people talk so highly about them. So it's just like, why not play them all? And I've always been so interested in Final Fantasy 13. I own them all, but it's one of those cases where I still just haven't played it. But hey, playing every Final Fantasy game is something I want to do. And obviously in doing that, I would get to 6, which is number 47 on the undisputed, official, definitive top 100 games of all time list. Let's see what 46 is. Oh, Diablo 2? Yeah, Diablo 2. Never played it. But there is, what is it called? Resurrected? Which gives me a pretty good entry point to do so. And I don't see why not. It's a great time. I very much enjoyed Diablo 3 and Diablo 4. So let's go back in time, get a little blast from the past, and see what's going on with Diablo 2. With Diablo 2 Resurrected. I'm sure it'll be a great time. I'm sure I'll enjoy that quite a bit. Super Mario Kart. I don't know if there's an ending. Probably just finishing a cup. I don't even know if there were cups back then. But if there aren't an actual ending like that, then just skip. Okay, come on. Of course I've played Snake Eater. Come on. What do you think I am? Also, what are we talking about? Why is Snake Eater number 44? The only way that Snake Eater can be number 44 is if Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid, and Metal Gear Solid 5 and 4 aren't on this list, because Metal Gear Solid 3 is the best one. Though the only reason it could be this low is if the other ones just aren't here. Okay? Let's just get that out of the way. Let's see. Number 43. Hades. Never finished that game. Never completed a single run. I don't know how many runs it takes to complete it, but I've never completed a single one. I've seen Hades. I've gotten to Hades, but he kicked my ass. I tell you what. But hey, now's the time to build back and come back stronger. And then I'll look online to see how many endings you should probably do. But yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. It'll be a fun one. Next up, Metroid Prime. Okay. Mario Odyssey and Metroid Prime are like up there in terms of get to it as soon as possible, because Metroid Prime 4 is about to come out. Unfortunately, Nintendo never remastered Metroid Prime 2 or 3, because I really would have liked to do the remastered trilogy to lead into Prime 4 Beyond, but it doesn't look like we're going to get those. Instead, just Metroid Prime. And that's going to be an interesting one, because that is a Metroidvania, and I don't really like Metroidvanias, but it's a 3D Metroidvania, so, you know, maybe I'll have a better time with that. And we'll see. And it was remastered recently, so it should play pretty well. I'm getting worried now that I'm talking about Metroidvanias about, like, as we get closer to the top point of this list, it's just like, how many of these are going to be like really old school classic games that I have little to no interest in playing. I haven't really determined any skips yet, but you know, maybe good thing I still have them, you know. 41, StarCraft. I don't know if there's an ending to that. Probably, right? That's going to be a tough one because it's a real-time strategy, but I'll look into it. I'll definitely look into it. StarCraft in general is one of those franchises that I've heard forever, probably since 1998, but have never even like dipped a toe in them because of their genre. But knowing like the footprint it has left, it's definitely something I should play, you know? Definitely something I should play. And unless I skip it, here we go, you know? There's the reason. Next up, Journey. Been there, done that. Kind of overrated, let's be real. Like I remember getting it because it was like this highly rated game of the year thing for a lot of outlets at the time, and I'm just like, looking back on it, it's fine, you know. Was it that good? Nah. 39. Minecraft. Come on, we've all gotten to the end of Minecraft by this point. Shout out to the Minecraft movie coming out this Friday by the time of recording. 38, though, is Red Dead Redemption 2. What a banger. Do we call games bangers? Or is that just music? I don't know. Let me know. But yeah, of course I've played this game. Of course I have. What a great game. It makes me wonder if Red Dead Redemption 1 will be higher. Because a lot of people, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not on the right side of the internet. But a lot of people still put Red Dead Redemption 1 above it. I personally wouldn't. I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is just hands down a better game than Red Dead Redemption 2, or Red Dead Redemption 1 rather. God, it's just so good. And the epilogue is also like, come on. This is all you need. This is the only Red Dead Redemption you need. You never even need to play 1. Like, Red Dead Redemption 2 gets all of what you liked about 1 and more. You know what I mean? But number 37, Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. Of course I've played that. I had a PS3, so I played that. Just not 4. Oh, Deus Ex. Oh, God. I love Mankind Divided and Human Revolution, but I've never played the original. And now, looks like I'll have to. Should be fun. Should be fun. What's this guy's name? JC or something? I don't know. Jesus Christ? I don't know. Dark Souls. Come on. Of course I've done the Dark Souls. Come on. Get out of here. There probably is a campaign that probably just follows the base game, which is fascinating, or follows the movie's plot, which is fascinating that there is a campaign, even though it got its spot on this list, likely for the multiplayer and how revolutionary it was for multiplayer at the time. But hey, I guess I'll play through the campaign. I think there is one. Number 33, Half-Life. That's a good time. That's a good call. That's one I want to play, and clearly now I have a reason to play it. It's one of those things where it's like, again, one of those age-old games, one of those age-old franchises people are always talking about with Half-Life, like, oh, where's Half-Life 3? Where's Half-Life 3? But I've never played Half-Life. And I think Half-Life 1 has that RTX remix thing where they make it look absolutely stunning. So there's never been a greater time to play Half-Life than today. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a great time. It's definitely one I want to know about because it's one of those franchises that people still talk about a lot to this day as one of the greatest of all time. And I've never played it. So I would very much like to. I'd like to see what this Gordon Freeman guy is all about. See what this guy's crowbar is about. Like, this guy just looks like the most normal dude you'll ever see. And it's just like, what's his story? Why do people like this guy so much? I'd like to find out. And I soon will, because now I have to play it. It's on the top 100, so I have to play it. And at number 32, we have Chrono Trigger. Okay, another case of a classic game I've heard a lot about from a lot of different people over the course of me paying attention to video games, really, that I've never played, but is apparently the bee's knees, so to speak. Yeah, you would think there'd be a remake of this one by now, at least in like the 2D HD style. But as of right now, not a peep on that front. But yeah, I'd like to see what people love so much about this one. It's one of those age-old ones, those age-old RPGs specifically, and I love RPGs, so definitely got to give that one a playthrough. Halo Combat Evolved. We've all played Halo. Come on now. Oh, okay. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This might be my actual skip. Like, I might actually pull the skip card on this one. Because I just don't like Metroidvanias. Like, at all. I just hate them with a passion. Specifically 2D Metroidvanias, I've never enjoyed them. It's just like, okay, well now I'm stuck. Now I'm lost and I'm stuck. And I hate that. So genuinely, I understand this is like the biggest game for a lot of people. It's like the classic, the OG, and all of that. I might skip it. I might put that in my back pocket, bookmark that one for a potential skip. But next up, we got Super Mario Brothers 3. Yeah. The thing with these Mario games, these classic Mario games, is that while they may be antiquated, they're a breeze to go through. And I'm sure it'll be a great time. You know, just lots of whimsy and fun. Remember when games used to just be that? Well, let's play Super Mario Brothers 3 and then we'll remember what that was like. All right, let's see what is number 28. Oh, Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear. I don't know if that sounds right, you know. Surprising myself and I feel like everyone watching, I've never even touched Metal Gear Solid 1. I had Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear Solid 3, 4, and that's it. That's all the Metal Gear Solids I played, and Ground Zeroes. Those are the only ones I've played to completion. I never even touched this one. So, you know, I guess I have to. I guess I have to. I have no issue with it. I just never owned it, and it's so old. It's such an old game. Like, look at this compared to 2. What an old game, you know? And I got the gist. I know what happens, you know? Like, Snake, you know? It's fine. I don't really feel strongly one way or the other. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah. I figured I'd have to play it at some point, and I guess this will be what makes me do it. Unless they just remade it. Like this one's gonna be pretty low on the priority list because I think there's gonna be a remake soon. Like if Metal Gear Solid Delta sells really well, which why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't this get the remake next? You know, why not? Like, come on, help me out, Konami. Help a brother out. You know. 27, Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Wow. That's probably on here because I do recall this one being like just highly rated for its campaign and because of what it does for multiplayer going forward. Never played it. Maybe I played a demo, but I've never played it through. Never rolled credits on this campaign, but looks like I have to because why would I skip that? You know, no reason. Oh, Bloodborne. If I didn't have a reason to play it, I absolutely do now. Like, I recently put up the video where I was like, should I just play it at this point? Because we don't know if there's going to be a remake or a remaster. And at this point, it's just like, should I just play it before it gets too old? The answer is yes. A lot of people in the comments are saying yes. And now it's definitively a yes. Like, you guys already convinced me, but this, if I were teetering on an edge, this pushed me over it. Yeah, good for Bloodborne being number 26. Now we're getting into the top 25 games of all time, definitively. Now I'm getting real worried about like those classic games that I'm not going to be wanting to play, like Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Let's see what we got. God of War 2018. An extremely overrated video game, but I have finished it before, so we don't need to dwell on that. Yeah, I said it was overrated. What are you going to do about it? Yell at me in the comments. Please do. I'd love to get the extra engagement from you. But yeah, number 24, Street Fighter 2. All right, yeah. I played a lot of Street Fighter 4 Arcade Edition. That's what I played. But yeah, not Street Fighter 2. I guess I just pick a character and play through their story for that one. No problem. I almost said Metal Gear because of the PlayStation 1 of it all. But Final Fantasy 7, I'm not done with it, but I am very much in like the last 3 hours probably. I'm very close to the end of that game. But I haven't finished it yet, but I will soon. I will soon. Don't you worry about that. It's the one of the cases of where I'm like, I played remake, and after remake, I played a bunch of the original, and then I played up to where Rebirth was reportedly going to end, and then I played Rebirth, and then I kept playing the original, and I just haven't finished it yet. You know, a back and forth thing to see like the comparisons of what's changed and what was added, things like that, and how much context you might need for the remake trilogy, which is very fascinating. Very fascinating. I highly recommend everyone play this. If you're enjoying the remake trilogy at all, play the original because it definitely informs a lot of what is going on in terms of the strange things that are happening in the remake trilogy. Number 22, though, is Skyrim. Wow. Wow, kind of low for Skyrim, I would think. But yeah, of course I've played Skyrim. Come on, get out of town. Red Dead Redemption 1 is above 2. Yeah. Don't agree with it, but I have done it. I have seen that one all the way through. The epilogue in that one sucks compared to 2, for sure. Portal 1. Never done. Never played it. I don't think I've played it. Unless Portal Still Alive counts. I think I've played that. I think that was the arcade game on Xbox. I played the demo for that. I don't think that counts, but I did that. Super Metroid. That might be skip number 2 right there, folks. That very well might be skip number 2. I think it's kind of like, honestly, like kind of poetic that way earlier in this video I said I really don't like Metroidvanias all that much. Like I hate them even is what I said. And the skips that I'm like definitely considering using the most are for Metroid and Castlevania. You know, the namesakes of a Metroidvania. It's very fitting, very on brand for me. But let's see, number 18, Grand Theft Auto 5. Of course, I've been there, done that. The thing, as we get closer to the number 1 spot, I also feel like I have played more of these because, I mean, they're some of the greatest of all time. I would have played them, right? But let's see if that continues with number 17. World of Warcraft. I mean, I get it. That's an open-ended game, though. I was about to say there might be a campaign. There are multiple campaigns. I don't even know if you can play the original campaign. Either way, that's one that is fishy enough that I'm going to consider, what do you call it? Not a skip, because skips are like when I decide. It's one of these ones I'm just going to consider the SimCity route and just say it doesn't count. Not counting it. Portal 2. I also didn't play. I know I said Portal 1. I was like, I never played Portal 1, actually. I also never finished Portal 2, but I have played a bunch of it. Never finished it, though. And number 15, though, we have Doom, the original. Why not? That could be a lot of fun, too, especially play this right before, like, Doom the Dark Ages comes out. Just to be like a look at where it started and look at where it is now sort of thing, you know? That could be fun. I don't see why not. Also, funny that it says platform is DOS, and it's literally on everything now. Literally everything. Literally, even a pregnancy test, I believe you could play this on. But next up, BioShock. Been there, done that. Great time. I would love this game to get like a full remake or just a really intense remaster, more so than just what the BioShock collection had previously, because it could be better, you know? It deserves to be timeless in the sense that it should always look as pretty as possible. You know what I mean? I think that made sense. 13, Super Mario World. Again, one of those Mario games, one of those old Mario games where it's just like, we're here to have a good time, and we'll probably have a good time. Can't complain. It'll really be a quick time as well. Mass Effect 2. Yep, done that. Great game. Never finished Mass Effect 3, though. But there's no way in hell Mass Effect 3 is above it, so let's see. Number 11, Shadow of the Colossus. Now that's definitely one I've never played. I played a trial of it with with PS Plus on the PS3 way back in the day, but never did the whole thing. I know how it ends. We all know how it ends. But it's a game that I've never completely finished all the way through or really even got very far in. There is the Shadow of the Colossus remake by Bluepoint that is pretty well acclaimed as far as I know. So yeah, that'll be how I experience this. I also feel like I moved on from Mass Effect 2 a little too fast, but it's a great game. And I'm probably going to just replay it just because I want to. And I've never finished Mass Effect 3, so in order to get to Mass Effect 3, I'll have to replay the other ones too. So, yeah, I probably will play it again just for the hell of it. But now we're getting into the top 10 video games of all time. The definitive top 10 video games of all time. So, you know, let's strap in. Prepare yourself for number 10. Of course, we've played Elden Ring. God, shout out to Elden Ring. Top 10 video games of all time. And it deserves it. Absolutely deserves this spot. It is, I mean, maybe it should be higher. But at this point, once we get once we get into the top 25 even, we can't really complain about spots as opposed, or we can't really complain about where it's ranked. We should just be happy it's this high. And I'm very happy the Elden Ring is this high. Honestly, the rest of the top 10, it could be in any order. It really doesn't matter. They're all great. We understand that. And I wouldn't be surprised if I've played like 8, maybe 7 or 8 out of the 10. I wouldn't be surprised. We might get down to just completely predictable territory, because when it comes down to the best games of all time, it doesn't matter how old you are or how new you are. If you're that good, if you're in the top 10 of all time, I've probably played you, you know? But let's go ahead and see what number 9 is. Resident Evil 4. I've played their original and I've played their remake. It's very good. Very great game. Obviously, the remake's better because of the controls and all that. But man, really, really good time. What a fun time. I can't complain with this one being here. And yeah, I very much enjoyed it. It's so fascinating to me how much comfort I find in the Resident Evil games, which doesn't make any sense because they are horror games, but they just feel so cozy. You know, you solve a little puzzle here, you break a box, you get some ammo there. It's a great time. You can't really go wrong with any of them, but obviously, still to this day, 4 is the best one, definitively, clearly. And personally, I would also go as far to say that as well. I would be shocked. I mean, there's no other Resident Evil game that could be above this. I don't even think there's another horror game that could be above this. It's also the best horror game because Resident Evil 4, without Resident Evil 4, you don't get The Last of Us. Speaking of The Last of Us, we haven't seen The Last of Us Part 1. We're probably going to see it pretty shortly here. And in that case, it's kind of shocking that The Last of Us Part 1 is above it because, like I just said, without Resident Evil 4, there is no The Last of Us. But hey, you know, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and see what number 8 is. Oh, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Yeah, I can't say I've played that one, actually. It's one of those 2D Zelda games. When I think it was the last 2D Zelda game. That might not be right, because 1991 to 1998 for Ocarina of Time, I believe, doesn't make sense. Also, I haven't said Ocarina of Time. We haven't said Breath of the Wild either. Are there going to be 3 Zelda games? No. Are there going to be 3? Yeah, 3 Zelda games in the top 8? Is that what we're saying to ourselves right now? That'd be pretty crazy. But yeah, that's definitely one I want to play as well, because like I said, I love Zelda, and Link to the Past is like one of the best ones apparently, but it's before they did the 3D shift, and I really latched onto Zelda with the 3D shift. So it'll always be a fun time to see what the past looked like, pun intended. Okay, but now let's go ahead and see what number 7 is. Super Mario 64. Okay, surprisingly, I've never completed this game because, much like a lot of the games I played a lot earlier in my life, I just played a lot of it, but I never actually finished it. You know, I think I've only actually fought Bowser once. And I know you have to fight him multiple times to get to the actual ending of this game. And that should be a fun one. That's one of those ones where I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't have any issue playing that one. I'm sure I'll have a good time. I'm like, it's a little old, no doubt about it. But hey, I'm sure I'll have a great time with it. You know, it's a classic for a reason. And I did enjoy it a lot growing up. Of course, times have changed. But I mean, at the end of the day, it still is Super Mario 64. Pretty great game. Number 6. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Amazing. Good for you. Good for you. That's great. Great for you. Amazing. That's legitimately incredible that it's number 6 of the best games of all time. Definitively the best games of all time. It's one of my favorite games. It's top 2 for sure. I haven't really, still to this day, I haven't really determined what actually is my favorite game of all time, whether it's The Witcher 3 or Fallout New Vegas. Ask me one day, I'll say one answer. You ask me the other day, I'll say the other. But yeah, shout out to The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, turning 10 later this year. Great game. Very, 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 very great placement for it. Very, very proud of them to get to number 6. Amazing work, and it deserves it. Top 5. Okay, now we're getting into the top 5, the 5 games that are the greatest games of all time. Half-Life 2. I was about to say it's probably gonna be like Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2, there it is. Same with Half-Life 1, as I've never played that. I've never played this, and it's the sequel, which. And it's hard for a lot of games, I think, to be considered this much better than the sequel when the original is already that highly rated. Like in a lot of cases, when a sequel is considered better than its predecessor, it's like a sizable gap. But in terms of Half-Life 1 to Half-Life 2, I mean, where was Half-Life 1? I must have 33 to 5. Not that big of a margin. I mean, same could be said about Portal to Portal 2, actually. But yeah, it's the sequel to Half-Life 1, and I'm playing Half-Life 1 at some point. So of course, I'll be playing Half-Life 2 at some point. Number 4, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. I've never finished this game, actually. Again, I played a lot of it growing up, but I was a dumb kid who didn't understand how to really progress in games. I do know what I got stuck on. Like, it's one of those things that as a child I got stuck on it, but as I got older, I looked back on it and I was like, what was it? What was the issue? What did I not understand? It was the fact that in the Gerudo Temple or the Desert Temple, whatever it's called, when you're an adult, you have to go there as an adult, do something or other, then be a kid and set something as a kid, and then you got to go back as an adult. And it's that was too much for my little tiny brain to comprehend at the time. So I never finished it. That was my roadblock back in the day, but I could totally finish this game now. So I'm gonna have a great time doing it. Next up, number 3, the top 3. It's another milestone. Top 3 games. Whoa. Okay, number 3. Like, I know way earlier, I said The Last of Us is a story that I consider like perfect and all that, but number 3 of all time. Better than Ocarina of Time, better than all of these games on this list in front of us right now, right here. I don't know if I can get behind that, but hey, this is definitive. I can't argue with it. I may not be able to get behind it, but I can't argue with it. So there you go. That's a shocker to me. But of course, I have played that one to completion multiple times. Very great game. Like I said, it has pretty much the perfect ending you could ever want in a game. And yeah, number 2. Top 2, probably. Actually, I'm surprised I don't know what number 2 is. I definitely know what number 1 is because it's like on the front page of this website when you click it. But I don't know what number 2 is. So let's see what it is. Oh, Tetris. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Played a bunch of Tetris in my day. Can't finish that game, so that's done. And then, of course, The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, which I have finished surprisingly not too long ago. It was like literally weeks before Tears of the Kingdom when I finished Breath of the Wild for the first time. But now with all of that out of the way, these are the top 100 games of all time. And now's the time to fact check. Is there a campaign to Sid Meier's Civilization 4? Okay, we turn to game facts. Campaign or not, Sid Meier's Civilization 4. There is no campaign in Civ 4. Every game is its own standalone, randomized, customized session. However, it comes with several pre-made scenarios to play, and there are many other user-created scenarios as well. So there's not an actual campaign. For these games that don't have campaigns to them, I will at least like play them. Obviously, I can't finish them if there's no campaign, but I will play them at the very least. But yeah. And so that is the definitive top 100 list of video games of all time. No getting around it. It's definitive. Like we talked about at the top, these are congregated by every review site and weighted properly. So this, you can't really argue with it. You can disagree, but you can't argue. So looking back on it, I have looked into Sid Meier's Civilization 4. There's no campaign. But for every game that there isn't a campaign for that I can actually like roll credits for, I will at least play. I will play it a little bit at the very least. But in terms of my 3 skips, looking back on this list now, going through it, I know what 2 of them are, unfortunately. I feel like people are not going to be happy with 2 of those skips. And honestly, I don't know if I have anything right off the rip that I want to use my 3rd skip on. If anything, it might be World of Warcraft that I'd use my other skip on just because that's a whole thing to get into that game at this point in 2025. So yeah, as it stands, unless I start playing one of these other games on this list and I go, man, I hate this and I definitely don't want to see it to completion. I think my 3 skips will be on... Where are they? They're pretty high up, shockingly. Castlevania Symphony of the Night, because Castlevania. Super Metroid, because Metroidvania. I think I said Castlevania a second ago. Metroidvania is a Castlevania, and a Metroidvania for Super Metroid, and World of Warcraft, just because, man, how would I get into that? Unless it turns out StarCraft is harder to get into. It's going to be World of Warcraft or StarCraft. I haven't decided yet because, man, how am I even going to get into that? You know, I'd have to like create a whole account and do the whole MMO thing. And it's just, no thanks. I get it. You know, I watched South Park. I saw the South Park episode. But yes, that is the top 100 games of all time. Definitively, you can't argue with it. You can only disagree. And now I have a bunch of games that I need to play, a bunch of games that have immediately made their way into my backlog, which I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea because I already have so many other games in my backlog. But in order to well verse myself with all of gaming history, this is something I just felt like I had to do. And now I'm glad I've done this. And now's the time to actually play through these games, which will take time. I don't have a deadline because... How could I do that? You know, I couldn't do that to myself. Honestly, I'm a little surprised that the only Final Fantasy games were Final Fantasy 6 and 7 because I've heard great things about 9 and 10 as well. And out of 100 games, they weren't here. Let's go see what the honorable mentions were in the 200 section just for fun. Mega Man, Tony Hawk, Stardew Valley. Look at that. The Sims. Another Final Fantasy, Prince of Persia, Halo 3. Wow, only one Halo game as well. Titanfall 2, Doom 2016. Wow, League of Legends, Metal Gear Solid 5, Assassin's Creed 2. Good for them. Celeste, Dishonored. Wow, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. That's incredible to be this high. Horizon Zero Dawn. Wow. Mass Effect, the first one, God of War, the first one, Half-Life Alyx, that's pretty cool, BioShock Infinite. That is one of those games that I was like, man, I'm surprised it wasn't in the top 100, and it almost made the cut. Shocking that Sonic the Hedgehog 2 isn't better than Sonic the Hedgehog 1. I guess Sonic the Hedgehog 1 probably has some of that, like it's more influential than Sonic the Hedgehog 2 sort of thing going for it. Dishonored 2, also very high. Shout out to that. Hitman 3, also very high. Good for Hitman. Left 4 Dead 2, Marvel Spider-Man 2, huh? I don't think it should be that high. Because I don't think we've seen Miles Morales or Spider-Man 1, and both of those games are better than 2. I'll tell you that right now. Animal Crossing New Horizons, Divinity Original Sin, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty. A little low on if you ask me, but you know, whatever. Beyond Good and Evil. It's that good, huh? Dead Space. Never played that either. Limbo. Wow. Metaphor ReFantazio. Good for you guys, making it this high on the list. For such a recent game. Marvel Spider-Man 1, Thief, Fallout New Vegas, too low, way too low. Way too low. You gotta bump that up. But gotta bump that way up. Fallout 2, Pokemon Go. Wow. Gran Turismo, Final Fantasy 10, Fallout the first one, Prince of Persia the first one. Go down. Borderlands 2, Monster Hunter World, Resident Evil 2. I like a lot of back-to-back hits there. But yeah. So I have a bunch of games I need to play now. And I hope you found some enjoyment throughout this video as I went through the top 100 games of all time, and I also kind of just sped through the top 200 games just then. Yeah. So let me know in the comments below what you think. If you think I'm using my skips poorly, or if you think there are other games I should skip, or if there are other games that I have probably missed throughout the years of gaming that I should play. Because this is what it's all about. It's about broadening my horizons, because I have played games for a long time, but I haven't really played all of the games of all time. I haven't played all of the games that people would consider the must plays. And this is all an effort to sort of close that gap for myself. And I think I'm doing that quite well. So yeah. Thanks for watching this video. If you like to hit the like button, and if you made it this far and you aren't subscribed, you should probably hit the subscribe button, because if you made it this far, you probably liked something you saw here and you'd like to see more of it. And the best way to see more of it is if you hit the subscribe button. And until next time, as always, stay safe and play some video games.